Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Games. Just finished Leicester City 4, West Ham United 1 at the King Power Stadium. And this video is sponsored by OneFootball. It's a free football app for anyone that likes football, really. Get it downloaded, it's completely free. Links in description, customise it and set up the way you want, which is what David Moyes done. He set up the way he wanted, not the app, the game. And we're going to get on to that. That's what we're here to discuss. Where do we start? We normally to go through chronicle. We normally take it in order, right? And it doesn't feel like we should really, but
I think you're right.
At half time, 2-0 down. What were you thinking?
I thought me and Geo had got this 2-0 prediction wrong. We're gonna lose 4 or 5. Which I thought at that point it was a terrible performance, Geo. I was sat down, I got my notes, as I know, you do yourself, and I've just wrote down a load of negative stuff. I'm trying to write down bits and pieces next to each player's name. It's by and large absolutely negative stuff. I gobsmacked. I said to you just before we finished up our video, and I said, look, this 3 at the back thing. I said, Dean, I said I don't think it's going to work. He's had a win against Bournemouth with 4 at the back. He's had a draw against Everton with 4 at the back, and he's lost to Sheffield United with 3 at the back. I hope it doesn't go wrong. We don't seem to be able to get players in attack. But do you know what? I almost feel fraudulent if I sit here and talk about tactics, Geo, and shape, because our problems run far, far deeper than that, and it's all been laid bare, and it's all been exposed. And I do think Leicester are an absolutely fantastic team. I do think they are genuine top 4 team. But I also don't think that was Leicester at their best today. I think earlier on in the season, Leicester have played better than that. I think they had 4 or 5 players who looked to be on really good form, and the rest sort of coming back to form and breaking down with injury and so on and so forth. But it was more than enough. If you've got 4 players, it is more than enough to swat West Ham aside at the moment. That's for sure.
I was furious at half time. I was genuinely raging with what I'd seen in the first half. When we did the review after Sheffield United, I said to you halfway through the second half, I got a reminder why I don't like David Moyes. Against Everton at the weekend, in the second half, I got a reminder why I don't like David. Before we even kicked off today, I got a reminder why I didn't like David Moyes the first time. It continued throughout the duration of the first half. The tactics were just baffling. Zabaleta, right wing back, no idea what he's done there. He was crap against Sheffield United at right wing back, fantastic at right back against Everton. So what do? We're playing right wing back tonight up against one of the better left-sided teams in the league. It made no sense whatsoever. It wasn't even... Listen, I'm not a football manager. I've got no experience as a football manager whatsoever. We sat here in the build-up show and we told you what was going to happen. Get Harvey Barnes out wide, and Chilwell's going to have the run of the park down that hand side. The whole first half, that's all we watched. Chilwell with acres and acres of space. Snodgrass was looking at Noble and Vice saying, I'm going to have to go out and help him here, but as soon as I do that, I'm leaving James Maddison, of all people, there. 3 against 2. You 2 are on your own because I'm going to have to go out here. It was just completely baffling. Now, the players were crap. We'll get on to that. But they were just completely shackled by that tactics and setup completely from the word go. The worst thing is, Gonzo, when we done the preview, we sat and had a little joke about how Southampton and Burnley have done the hard work. They've gone and beat them in the last 2 games by playing the same thing, 4-4-2, intensity, pressing from the front. We've gone and done the complete exact opposite. We've not done the formation, we've not done the tactics, we've done nothing similar to what the 2 teams that have just beat them have done. And then we're saying, no West Ham fan was confused as why we were getting beat. The only people that were a bit confused why we were getting beat was people in the dugout. They were probably standing there thinking, what's going on here? How come this isn't working? Well, no shit, Sherlock. We all predicted this as soon as we seen the lineup. The football fans can be a bit knee-jerk sometimes. I can be knee-jerk sometimes. You can be knee-jerk sometimes. But when 90% of the fan base is saying the same thing, they're generally on to something. And today we were on to something when we saw that lineup. It was just completely, absolutely dumbfounded as to why. It was, what was it? 25 minutes gone, we had a 16% possession. Now, I'm not that fast, but the thing is that insinuates you're playing extreme counter-attacking football. But that also insinuates you've got a little bit of pace or something. We tried to counter-attack and it ended up with the goalkeeper most of the time. Our goalkeeper, that is, not Kasper Schmeichel, Randolph. It was just completely stupid. I mean, just for people that haven't seen the game, Leicester took the lead in the 23rd minute through Harvey Barnes, good play by Ricardo Pereira, and then Pereira himself made it 2-0 just before the half-time. But David Moyes, to give him some credit, Gonzo, he makes 2 subs at half-time. Fornals and Antonio on for Snodgrass and Masuaku. We got a pen just after the restart. Was that a pen for you?
No, not at all. But I do. He had to make that substitution, Masuaku, because whilst Masuaku was carrying the ball, was dribbling it, and was possibly the fastest player in the team. I was watching it on telly, obviously, and Robbie Savage, was stealing my thunder a bit. I'm glad, someone noticed how freaking slow we are, because I say it almost all the time. It's pathetic. It really is pathetic how much we are lacking in athleticism. But anyway, Pereira was enjoying a massive portion of Masuaku on toast, so he had to take Masuaku off on that one. So he had to make some changes. It was no surprise. You absolutely said about the blueprint that the other teams are given by playing 4-4-2. We go 4-4-2. We go and put 2 guys up. By putting Antonio up there, Sebastian Haller is suddenly interested again because he feels he's got a mate. And that being said, it wasn't a penalty. I thought it was. I thought Haller went looking for it. I thought he was. Was it quite a dive? No, but I thought he instigated the contact and he waited for something to go down. If anything, I thought Haller kicked the other geezer's foot. So I don't think it was a penalty at all. That being said, I do think Kasper Schmeichel should have been sent off.
Yeah, I don't think it was a penalty either. I think if the referee hadn't gave a pen and VAR reviewed it, I don't think they would have said, actually, you've got that wrong, ref. That's a pen. I think they would have stuck with the referee's decision on that one. When it takes too long, you get a little bit of a feeling there's something going wrong. But I actually thought we started to play not too bad, at the start of the second half. When we went to 4-4-2, we got the goal. We needed a bit of luck. We needed something because we weren't going to do it without a bit of luck, and we got it with the penalty. Good pen by Mark Yobo. Yep. Then I thought we started to go a bit more direct, and it worked, just going long to Antonio and Sebastian Haller. They were ruffling up their centre-backs a bit, getting a little bit of something. I thought Fornals had come on. I thought he's composed for now. He's just able to get the ball, turn around and pass it. And it's something we couldn't do in the first half. We were just unable to pass. That's all Fornals done in the second half. It wasn't anything amazing. And at one point he had a perfect through ball for Haller. He messed up, but the thing is, he's just able to find a teammate in the right shirt. But we were playing good, Gonzo. Were you a bit hopeful at 2-1 down? Were you thinking, okay, got a chance here?
Yes and no, because I only really felt that the change of formation and Antonio coming on. Look, it's a team game. There's 11 players out on that pitch, and you can't. It's very rare that one player impacts a game, and particularly for any consistent level for any time. I mean, it's a big ask for Antonio, and that was massive. And to be fair, I thought it was quite a disgrace how much impact he had. Was disgraceful in terms of what the other players have been producing up to that point. For a man to come on in a team game where he has 10 other teammates and to have that much of an impact, you look and you think, what on earth are the rest of you actually doing? But I was never convinced that actually it was going to be enough, as I say, because it is a team sport. You just need more than that. And I think it sparked a little bit of life in Sebastian Haller, a little bit. I didn't think it was infectious enough around the others. I don't think there were just enough of the other players getting in it. I think there was points where Zabaleta was trying to get up, and I'm talking in the second half here, and join in. Yeah, there were a couple of through balls from Fornals and whatnot, and he's full of drive. Fornals, he is full of character. There's a lot of character to that guy. I said it after the Oxford game when he came over. It just there's something about it. There's something about him, and whilst I don't think he's the best player in the world, I'm still remain unconvinced. He has an attitude to him that was just sadly lacking when you look at someone like Lanzini, who just have no attitude at all. But I still didn't feel that enough players were brought up to the level, and there was just such a massive lack of quality. And I just never felt that that Antonio could do it on his own. Yes, there was a little period where we had a number of corners, but then it became an open game. There was one particular one where there was a scramble in front of goal, and then there was another corner just afterwards, which Ogbonna headed over. For some reason, we got a foul. I actually thought Diop was fouled, by the way. I thought that should have been. I thought that was the penalty, not that Haller one. But for some reason, he gave the foul the other way. The referee who struggled tonight. That's not why we lost. We lost because we're crap, right? By the way, and Leicester are brilliant, but the referee had a bad game. But at that point, it was open, and they were able to counter really well. Barnes looked really pacey, and Nacho had come on and started stringing things together, and obviously Perez at that point was growing into the game, and obviously Pereira was doing what Pereira does, which is basically look like Cafu. It was just all too much for us, and as the game opened up, it was they were always going to score more goals. It's a tough pill to swallow, that, Geo. You shouldn't do. I'm sorry, I know I'm talking for a long time. You shouldn't do, because you sort of expect to lose these. Now, games in hand were Leicester, obviously, because the others played last night, and we got Liverpool. We know it's a tough run coming up, but there's something about that. I'm not sure I quite put my finger on it yet, but for some reason I feel more sickened tonight than any other game so far this season. I don't know. Maybe the reality is truly set in with just how inept the tactics are, just how poor the players were. There was a point. There were two points. Number one, Pereira's goal, which was just. I mean, I can't even bother to talk through it, but I think it was Barnes came down. He put the ball across to Pereira. He put it in. And then there was another one where funny enough, it was Barnes again, where he knocked it past Zabaleta and just ran past him, and actually nothing came of it. But it was just stark, like the fact that he fancied himself to do it, and he almost did it. And I was looking at it, and I thought, actually, it's just like my 5-year-old says, "Daddy, can we get the football and have a kick around in the garden?" And I sort of pretend I'm Cristiano Ronaldo. Don't let her get the ball. I'm not a nice dad, am I? Don't let her get the ball, and I bang a few goals in, and she's it was like a Champions League team against a Championship team out there, and I think that's what's making me so worried about it.
I think I'm just going to guess you. I think the reason you're getting a bit worried, and this is why I'm getting a bit worried, because we've already rolled the dice. When we sat Pellegrini and got Moyes in, that was the roll of our dice. We don't have that anymore. It's gone. Transfer window shuts in 9 days' time. We're 2/3 into the transfer window, and the rumours are there's not much happening on the horizon either. So everything's starting to come into place now, which is all pointing in one direction. It ain't the direction we're wanting to go in either. But this is the thing. You look at Watford now, who are getting a little bit of form together, stuff. They've rolled the dice and got it right. We've rolled it and got worse.
Well, they've rolled it twice.
Yeah, but we ain't going to do that, are we? We're not going to sack Moyes at this stage of the season. There's not a chance. But I thought we looked good for half hour. I actually thought we were going to get a second goal was through our corners. I thought our corners tactics were correct, which was we seemed to pile in on Schmeichel for the corners, and we were trying to hit it in the 6-yarder. I thought this was good. I don't think Schmeichel likes crosses. So I thought that was good. But the last 10 minutes, their quality shone through in our lack of fatigue, if you like, or a lack of, to be honest with you, I think it was just lack of caring. They just gave up. Yep. I think for the last 10 minutes there was a case of how many do you want, because you're going to get them now. They were starting to threaten a little bit before they got the penalty. Tielemans had a volley that just went wide as well. They were getting bits and pieces. Then they got their pen on the counter attack. Iheanacho going to the box, wrong side of Ogbonna, goes down. This one a pen for you?
Yes. Yeah, it was so clumsy. Even if it wasn't, he can have no complaints, Ogbonna. It was a terrible game from Ogbonna today, by the way. I don't pick him out. I mean, pick out who you want. You're probably going to ask in a minute. But, yeah.
You've got our player ratings to do as well.
It was for the old sneaky video. Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's going to be interesting. To be fair, there's going to be a lot of low numbers. I'll tell you that much. It was a penalty. It was too clumsy. He was all over him. You got to have some. When you're an athlete, you got to have some semblance of control. You got to have some balance. You got to have some sensible spatial awareness and a bit of hand-eye coordination. This is basic stuff, by the way. I'm not talking about doing a scissor kick into the top corner like Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'm talking about standing up and putting one foot in front of the other and having a look around you. Do you know what I mean? The sort of skills you might need to pass your driving test or something basic like that. It was a penalty.
I would have liked to have seen him trust Randolph there. A couple of minutes before that, Randolph made a world-class save from James Maddison. That was heading directly into the top corner. That save that's something Martin. I don't think Martin would have saved it. I don't think Roberto would have saved it. I'm not even sure if Fabianski would have saved. That save was top drawer. So as a keeper, that gives you a bit of confidence. Your chest is out a little bit, and I just wish that Ogbonna gambled and trusted his keeper, said, you know what, I can't touch this guy, I'm going to give away a pen, you're going to have to deal with it. But that's Randolph's job. Iheanacho's on his right foot, it's his weaker foot. There's a good chance he scores, okay? There's a good chance he scores, he has to score. But Randolph's got more chance of saving the Iheanacho's shot than he does a penalty, in my opinion. I just think Ogbonna's got it completely wrong there. He's taking decision away from Randolph. Perez makes it 3-1, and that's when it is game over for me. And then they just keep coming, Leicester. We've just given up. The only player out there trying for me is Antonio. He's the only one that's got any sort of endeavour left. I started to feel sorry for the bloke. Almost wanted to get him subbed back off and wrap him up for the next game, because I thought this game's finished there. I don't want to see this guy running around giving himself an injury, because he was still running around at 3-1 down. He was still trying to make something happen, and when he was, often people were just watching him. And then they made it 4-1. Perez again, and this goal, when you watch it back, this is the goal that pisses me off just as much as anything. Perez takes a dodgy touch, right? The ball comes in from the right hand side, and he takes a dodgy touch, Perez. But after he's touched it, Iheanacho's pretty much standing beside Zabaleta and Diop, but Iheanacho gets to first. He's about a yard. Now bear in mind the ball's only travelled 2 yards. How the hell has he got that far away from Diop and Zabaleta? They're both stood still like a statue, just watching the ball. Well, Iheanacho's anticipating it, looking for it, he's hungry for his goal. He's not got his goal yet, he wants one. He gets it, he gives it back to Perez and says, there you go, mate. Do what you want. Bang, into the bottom corner. 4-1. 4-1 Leicester.
Yeah, I thought, funny enough, how you read that and watched that. I watched that and I saw too, because he actually had the ball twice in the move, Perez, and I thought, I thought Ogbonna, Ogbonna had 2 opportunities to block him and he missed them both. So yeah, I mean, as you always say, show me a goal and I'll show you a mistake. I mean, if you want, we show you 4 goals, we'll show you about 50 mistakes. But if the video's not long enough, it's I don't really know what to say, Geo, which is obviously a bit naughty because we're meant to be here doing a video. But I got, emotions. It's a bit. His emotions got slightly the better of me today. I must say, I feel like the life's been sucked out of me. I'm so downbeat about it all. I know it's something for another show, but you know what? It's what I'm thinking here, and I'm looking at us linked with Stephen and Zonzi, and I'm just looking thinking, why can nobody see that we need some fast players? Why does this stuff keep happening? I don't know why the very basics are not getting recognised, and it does come down to tactics, and it comes down to recruitment, and there's just so much wrong and so much to put right. And I look at it, and Antonio was magnificent. A real force of nature, and I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, and Daniel did a fantastic video about Anderson today, by the way. He really did, and I don't argue with anything he said, but at the moment he is a massive player for us, Antonio, and not Antonio, Anderson, sorry. And I think if we can't keep Anderson and Antonio fit for the remainder of the games, and purely because of they're both quick, and one of them's got a brilliant force of nature, Antonio, we're gone. We're done. Because if we can't bring anybody in the window, and we need to, if the owners aren't looking at that and thinking, oh my word, this is, we need to give him whatever it is, let's just give Moyes or whatever. It's just the trouble is there's no one there. The cupboard's bare. There's no scouts. There's no director of football. There's no one. Even if they want to sign someone, who the hell do they sign? There's almost like we don't know who. Nobody knows who to sign unless they get some fast players in there. Unless they get some players with work rate, get some players with hunger. I'm telling you now, if we cannot keep Anderson and Antonio fit, that will be it. There will be someone below us, be it Bournemouth or you look what Burnley have won again tonight, of course. So that there'll be someone below us who overtakes us. We're right there. We're basically in the bottom 3, albeit on goal difference, and I'll tell you what, Liverpool are gonna smack our bums on goal difference. That will disappear after we played Liverpool.
Yeah, well, it could be Villa, actually. Villa could be ones to overtake us because McGinn's due back from injury at some point, but they've done what we haven't done. They got a goalkeeper injury, so they went and got Pepe Reina, who played and performed in the win against Watford. Wesley went and got injured, so they've already went and signed Samata, who we were linked with in the summer as well. Actually, they've thought, right, we need to get players in here. They've gone and done it. You say we need to get players in. There's no point asking David Moyes. He doesn't know who he wants. He doesn't know who to go get. He knows he wants a player, maybe two at a push. He needs more than two. I'm not even sure two's enough. And then, but he's just saying, we might end up with none. That's not good enough. Moyes should be putting pressure on the board, saying, I need players, I need bodies. But the thing is, we're lacking pace, so why the fuck have we loaned out Nathan Holland? You know, the one guy that is fast, the one guy that is direct, we've loaned him out. I just don't get it. We're sitting here, Moyes is sitting there saying, oh, well, I like the Salzburg, the Red Bull model, which is young players, and we've just loaned our best one out to, and we could have recalled Diangana. I know he got injured in the last game, but the point is, if we got him back, he may not have got that injury. So it's just completely baffling. I don't get it. But tonight, it's gone tits up. Everything's gone wrong, really. I was going to say where it's gone wrong. I can't think of any reason it's like not gone wrong. First half, though, I just put it down to the tactics more than anything. The team selection. He's gone there to play for a draw. This is what's concerning me, because Southampton went there playing for a win and got a win. Burnley played them on the weekend and wanted a win and got a win. We went there looking for a draw, got our arse slapped. It's just, it's not good at all. We have to get out of this mindset of a draw. A draw would have been a good result, but we can't go there and play for one. That's two completely different things. You're asking for trouble, and we've got trouble. We're in trouble. We now need points. We need bonus points now between now and the end of the season. We need to turn up and for people to look at the results and go, oh, that was a good win for West Ham, because we're now in deep fucking shit. It really is that bad that...
He's being interviewed now, Moyes. I haven't got the volume up, but I can see him there. Crikey, penny for his thoughts, mate. And
penny's all he's got to spend as well. That's all he's going to get from David Sullivan. But that board have to be sitting there watching that tonight, thinking we need to get our money out quick, and we need to get players in. We need to go spend the summer transfer budget now. We need to gamble. Instead of waiting for to spend 20 million, 30 million in the summer, we need to be spending it now and gambling. If it goes wrong, we just have to sell those players in the summer, okay? But we've got to do something. Individual players, take your pick.
Well done to Randolph. I know it sounds a strange thing to say for somebody that's conceded that many goals, but it could have been worse. I thought there were times, but obviously the world-class save, but there were a couple of really good, smart stops as well. I think he comes out with some credit today, so I think I would say that. Antonio, I will only be repeating myself, and I would say now, obviously, since we've done everything lopsided, that would be my man of the match, by the way. So once we've got those out the way, then and maybe Cresswell can come out with a little bit of credit. I must... actually, there were points where I thought Noble was... I don't just mean it's a penalty. I thought that was Noble's best game in his last three. And I mean, wasn't good by any stretch of the imagination. And I thought there were times where Rice was trying, I don't know how much favours that does us, the fact that, Rice and Noble, put their all into it, because I don't want it to make Moyes think that that's not an area that requires attention. It requires urgent surgery. But the players that I've just named in terms of Noble, Cresswell, and Rice, and they're not. There's nothing wrong with their attitude. That's what I'm saying. They might have been a bit crap at times and for a lot of today, but their attitude is unquestioned. I'm loath to sit on here and say such and such must never play for West Ham again. All right, I did it once when Masuaku spat, and I sort of regretted it, and even though it was the wrong thing. And so, but I looked at Lanzini and today, and he's just petrified. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I think he's recovered from his injury. I think he's fully recovered. These surgeons are so good now. There's a theory that he's shot, that he can't get to the same speed, that he hasn't got to. I don't believe a word of it. I think he's gone up there. I think he's completely gone mentally. I think he's a player playing scared. I think he's afraid to commit himself. I think he's a player playing at 70%. He's afraid to sprint to his maximum. He's pulling out of of challenges. He's afraid to try stuff, to skip past. There was a point in the second half when we were right down on the wing, and Antonio tried to drag his foot over the ball and then flick it with the outside. I could see what he was attempting. It didn't come off because he's not skillful enough. But it was the sort of thing you might see Ronaldo or Messi do. And he tried it, and he tried to do this audacious, flamboyant flick to flick it between the defender's legs. It didn't happen. But it's the confidence to try it. To think, do you know what? I'll have a go at this. I've seen this on the telly, or the freestylers do it. Lanzini used to have that in abundance. He's not even trying the flair stuff now. He's uncommitted, and there was a point in the second half where Fornals, nothing actually happened. Fornals wasn't doing anything, but I think somebody tried to cross him the ball. It might have been Antonio, and it was crap, and it didn't come to. But he was clapping. Fornals was clapping. Come on, he's really encouraging him. Great, thanks for trying, mate. He was clearly saying, "Come on," and there was. So, good for you. That's part of being a team, doing that. That's part of being a team. I thought, good on you, Fornals. And I looked at Lanzini, who was stood quite near him at the time, and I thought, that's it. You unless something drastically happens, you're gone, mate. You're gone,
Yeah, but this is my issue. He was like that in the last game, in the game before that. Yeah, he got to play again tonight. We've got to stop. Moyes has got to stop waiting. He's got to stop this trial and error thing. He's got to be... If there's ever a time we need a manager to have massive bollocks, it's now, because he needs to pick players on form. And again, tonight we start with our best attacking player in form on the bench. He comes on and looks like, for the reasons you've said, but he looks better again. He looked good again. To sum our evening up, we had a counter-attack in the second half. I think it might have been 3-1 down at the time though. But it was 3-on-2 and it ended up back at Randolph. Antonio, I'm not going to say who it was. Antonio was involved in it. It wasn't the best pass, but it went out to, I think it might have been to Lanzini, and went back to Creswell and back to Randall. We had 3. It was 3v2 in our favour. I thought, here we go. Oh, it's back at Randolph. Never mind. It's just the whole thing just completely shot. Individual players, you said about Noble's attitude. I'm not sure anymore, I've always been a big fan of him, but I'll tell you something. He's the captain. And the captain's got to take responsibility for that performance in the first half. He has to. Would Troy Deeney let Watford play like that? I'm not sure he would. I think Troy Deeney would have been walking around the pitch slapping his players, basically saying, what on earth are you doing? Because people keep crediting Pearson with the Watford upturn, but if you go back, when Pearson came in, Troy Deeney came back from injury at the same time. Pearson got lucky. Where is our captain? The one that opened his goal before the Bournemouth game and turned into Pirlo for one game, and then he's gone away again. Where is he? We need him. Didn't see him out on the pitch tonight. I don't think he had a bad game, but we need more from him. He's not just a centre midfielder. He's not Robert Snodgrass. He is the captain. We need something from him. How many tackles did he put in? The leader. How many? 1? If that.
I thought there was a point in the first half, probably about that point we had 16% possession. I thought there was a point where he was actually the only one offering anything. He was trying to drive forward. He was trying to go wide. I thought he was trying things. And for the last 2 games, I think I've named Noble as our worst player.
Yeah.
I think
the funny thing is, me and you're swapping here because I always defend him. But I've been disappointed in him as a captain. I've been disappointed in him. When teams get relegated, you can look at the teams and you look at the captains, and usually your answer will be, well, they're not a very good captain or they've not done enough. He's the one in charge of all this. He's the one that opened his mouth when Moyes come in, praising how good Moyes is, just like David Sullivan has done. Well, where are we now? At least back your manager up a bit. At least help your manager out. I don't think he's doing that. He's just not doing enough. I think Sebastian Haller was a very strange striker tonight. 1 minute I thought he was rubbish. Next minute I thought he looked okay. Next minute he had a little bit of something about him. Then he went back to being rubbish again. Very strange. Though Antonio was superb. I man match well. Fantastic from him. Rice was meh. Got caught out a couple of times. Should have been booked. Maddison showed him up a little bit at times again tonight. I thought Creswell was fine. I thought Zabaleta was good, despite I thought he was exposed in the first half, but it's not his fault. It's really not his fault. The second half I thought he was fine. Harvey Barnes barely came near us in the second half because Zabaleta only had to defend. Snodgrass, bit of a waste of time having him on the pitch for the first half in my opinion. Didn't really see him do much apart from get injured. But anyway, can I get your final words, please? Final words.
I just think it's a really a bad day, Gio, and I think maybe I'm still trying to filter it through. I think maybe actually the reason of my melancholy is not just because it's a bad day. I think I can see the bigger thing. It's quite clear that when the next month starts, February, we are going to be in the bottom three. That's not even beyond doubt. And then you look at the run even after that. I think we're going to be in the bottom three for a month or two. And we're going to need... I don't think we need a miracle to get out of it. But this is a damning indictment of the situation we find ourselves in with a manager who has been relegated in recent years, let's not forget, and a board who have been relegated numerous times, added to the fact that we just seem to have a few players that don't care. We're in trouble, mate.
So Saturday was when I was really worried. I've never feared relegation. Even the first season when Moyes was here, the first season, I never feared it. The first year at London Stadium when it was a bit carnage under staff, didn't fear it. I always thought it would be okay. This is the first time since we actually got relegated I am worried about relegation, and that wasn't tonight. That was on Saturday when we drew, because I came away adamant a point wasn't enough. Tonight's only just made me believe that even more. We ballsed it up. We balled Saturday up big time. If we won on Saturday, I'm not saying we could take a 4-1 defeat like we have. A defeat would have been the worst thing in the world tonight, because we would have been saying it's okay, just beat Brighton. But that mindset's gone because we didn't beat Everton. We're now 2 points off our target for this block of games, this block of fixtures. We now need to get those 2 points from somewhere. It's not Brighton, we need 3 against them. It's Liverpool at home, Liverpool away, Man City away. We need 2 points from those 3 games. I think if we can get out of these fixtures, if we are a point off 17th, even if we are 19th, as long as we're a point or 2 away, I think we'll be okay. It's in our hands. It will become in our hands again. We have Watford at home, we've got Villa at home on the last day of the season, we've got Norwich away, we've got some winnable fixtures on paper. The problem is we're shit. it's just that, and I'm starting to question if people in our team care enough, because what we've seen in the last 10 minutes tonight and the first half tonight would suggest the answer is no. They don't care enough. There's something. We know football's a badge and West Ham's just their football's a job and West Ham's just their employer, but we need to do something. Anyway, shall we leave it there, Gonzo?
Yes, mate.
Anyway, if you somehow enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. Helps the channel. Subscribe if you're around here. We're away to record our player rating video for the patron, so if you're a patron, that'll be up tomorrow morning and you'll get the player rating video. I don't think it's going to be very positive, to be honest with you. Leave your comments below. Leave your comments below. We'll have a read of them and we'll be back tomorrow night, actually. Thursday night, we're back. West Brom preview. FA Cup time. Will Moyes take it serious? See you tomorrow.